Hello, in this video we're going to show you how to assemble this dresser. This dresser uses Walker Edison's new easy assembly technology and will take about 30 minutes to assemble with 2 people and a little bit longer with 1. You don't need any tools, so let's get started. In step 1 we have piece F as well as the 5 legs, which are piece H, and our larger dowels and our thumb screws. Now with this step with piece F, we just want to make sure that we have the side with these 4 holes here facing up and that they're towards this edge. And we just want to make sure also that this piece H with the foot is in the middle. So we'll start by putting our dowels into the corners, and these will be just on the outside 2 holes. And then we can take each foot and put it on the legs. And on this, we just want to make sure that the angled side is facing inwards. And then on this middle foot, the angled edge is going to be facing this way, away from the front. This is the front edge. So when it's on, it should not cover these holes here. And then we'll take a thumb screw and put one into the bottom on each foot. And just tighten that as much as you can with your thumb. And if you need to go tighter, you can use a flathead screwdriver. Then we're good to move on. In step 2, we have pieces A, B, and G. And with piece G, we just want to make sure that we have the edge where the holes are closer to the edge, facing backwards this way, and piece B will go along that edge. So go ahead and stand up piece B, and you just want to make sure that these overhang tabs are on the bottom so that they line up with the holes here. And then we'll put in our thumb screws. And then once all those screws are in, we can take piece A and do the same thing again, standing it up so that the tabs are at the bottom. And just making sure that you have the pieces on the right side. If this is on correctly, this edge should be flush right here. Then we'll put in our 4 screws. And once those are all in, we're good to move on. In step 3, we'll be inserting piece C in between these pieces here. But before we do that, we just want to make sure that these thumb screws on these wedges inside are not poking out. Just loosen them a little bit so that the bolt doesn't stick through. And then we'll take piece C with these wedges facing these other wedges and these 2 pieces here on top. And we can slide this piece in between here. And we'll line it up with all of the brackets, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. And then that will slide into place. And once it's in place, we can tighten these thumb screws. And that will secure it in place. Okay, we're good to move on. In this step, we're going to attach pieces D and E to the main part. And to make sure that these are on the right side, there should be a little bit of a gap here between the edge and this little piece here, and that'll be facing up. So the flush end will be down here. And also these rail glides should be towards the front edge of the piece. So we'll go ahead and slide this on to the side here, lining it up with the brackets on the top and bottom, and slide it into place, and then tighten these thumb screws like we did before. And also a reminder, if it's not going in, just make sure those are loose so that it can slide in. And then we'll take our 2 thumb screws and put them in at the bottom. Then we'll do the same thing on the other side with piece E. Again, making sure that the edge with the gap is on the top side. And then we'll put in our 2 thumb screws at the bottom again. Then we're good to move on. In step 5, we're going to put piece F onto the top of this piece here. So go ahead and flip it over like this, and we just want to make sure that this middle leg has a flat edge facing this side. And that should rest into place, and it should be flush around the edge. And then we can put 6 thumb screws around the edge, 2 on the ends, and 2 in the middle. Okay, we're good to move on. In steps 7 through 10, we'll be assembling the drawers. Now I've got the drawer fronts laid out here as they will go into the dresser. So we have pieces J, I, K, K, and M, and M. And one way to make sure that they're on the right side is the tapered edges of the pieces should be on the outside edge. This inside edge should be flat. So we'll go ahead and assemble one drawer, and then we'll speed through the rest. And also with all of the drawers, we have pieces N and O that are the outside edges. Pieces N will be going on this edge of the piece, and pieces O will be on these edges here. So we'll go ahead and start by assembling our first drawer. And for this, we'll need our small dowels. So we'll go ahead and put in 2 dowels onto the side of the drawer front. And then we'll take our side piece with the rail. Also just make sure that this little metal flap that is bent upwards is towards the drawer face, like this. And then with our little tabs here, we just want to make sure that the piece lines up with this little plastic insert here. So we can slide it on, then we'll turn the flap so that it locks it in place like that. And then we'll take our piece O, which is on the outside, again, with the rail towards the bottom. This little metal flap should be facing the drawer. And then we'll put in our 2 dowels and slide that piece on. And then flip the lever to lock it in place. And then you'll notice that this inside groove lines up all the way around the inside. And then we'll take one of these small pieces, piece T, and we'll have these plastic levers facing outwards this way. And we'll just line it up here and lock it in place. Then we'll take one of our bottom panels and just have the nicer side facing up like this and slide it into the groove. Just make sure it goes all the way in, like that, all the way in. And then we'll take our piece R, and that will go into here. And we'll put dowels into the ends of R. And then just making sure that this groove lines up with this panel here, we'll slide it into place. Flip up the levers so that it will go in. And then lock it in place. And the same thing on this side. Also, we'll need to make sure piece T goes in. And then flip the lever on this piece on this side. And then flip the lever on T. And we're done with our first drawer. We can go ahead and do the rest the same way. Okay, once all of our drawers are done, we can go ahead and put them into the dresser. And for this, we just want to make sure that drawers with the front I and J go into the 2 top holes because they are the narrower drawers, and the other ones go in the bottom 2. So we'll go ahead and start with that. Okay, once all of our drawers are in, we're done. We hope this video was helpful for you in assembling your new dresser. For more guides, tips, and tricks, go to walkeredison.com.